class, we are going to talk about the bones of the hand today. I gave you a handout. It has a drawn image on one side and an image that I took straight from BioDigital on the other. So you can take some notes with me, color code, whatever you want to do with your handout today. I want to start by referencing anatomical position. So when you think of any structures in the body, always picture anatomical position. So for the hands, that is the palms facing forward and the thumbs kind of outward away from the body. We will number our digits, thumbs over to pinky. So thumbs are number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way over to the pinky. So you're starting kind of from the outside and working your way in. If you look at the hand, just a general overview of the different bones, the wrist bones are called the carpals, and then you have more distal to that, the metacarpals, that's your palm of your hand, and then you have the phalanges, which are the finger bones. Your pointer, middle, ring, and pinky fingers have 3 phalanges. They have a proximal phalange, an intermediate phalange, and a distal phalange. So feel free to label those or color code or make a note of that. Your thumb is different, right? Digit number 1, it has a proximal and a distal phalange, and that's it. So let's take a look at some details here. Ignore my blue writing for now. You can see an overview here. One thing we didn't write in, actually, should do this quick, is the radius and the ulna. Okay, technically bones of your arm, but you can feel them down here in your wrist, so we'll include them in this picture in your diagrams. So radius is always going to be thumb side, ulna is pinky side. All right, we're going to look closely here at the carpals, but you can also see the metacarpals and the phalanges here too, and the numbering. Okay, so if we look at the carpals, you have 8 carpal bones, wrist bones, and there's kind of 4 in a row here that's more proximal, and then 4 in a row up here, more distal bones. So we're going to start naming them from the proximal thumb side. So right here you have the scaphoid bone, and then the lunate. Luna means moon, I guess it's moon-shaped. And then this one's kind of an odd shape, it kind of ducks underneath this next one over, the triquetrum. And then this little kind of P-shaped bone is called the pisiform. Okay, so those are the first 4. And then the next row, the more distal row, these are weird, they all kind of sound the same. Trapezium and the trapezoid. Just got to remember which one's which. Capitate and then hamate, supposed to look like a hammer. So you have 4 along the bottom or more proximal, and then 4 along the top row. So if we put them in that same order, scaphoid, lunate, all the way across, and then the second row trapezium all the way across, we write them out in this order. One common mnemonic you'll see that I learned years ago, you can probably make up one that's different if you want to, is Sally left the party to take Charlie home. It makes me think of the Peanuts, like Charlie Brown and Sally. So Sally left the party to take Charlie home. So if you start again down here on the thumb side, the proximal side, Sally left the party to take Charlie home. So if you want, you can scribble that down as a mnemonic. That might help you remember those. That's the bulk of it. That's what you're going to be working on. Labeling practice today. That's going to be on your quiz tomorrow. I wanted to just say one more thing about the hands because I think it's super interesting, is that you might notice on here, you saw them on BioDigital too, there's some tiny little bones that we're not really labeling. They are sesamoid bones. We learned earlier that sesamoid bones are kind of round bones and they're embedded in a tendon. And a lot of people have certain ones, and then there's other sesamoid bones that are much more rare. So you have quite a few that might be in your hand. Almost everybody has them in their thumbs here, kind of at the base of their thumb. But you can see some other ones in these x-rays that are sesamoid bones as well. Over here, this is what I really like. So you can see kind of where they would be and what shape or size they would be, and they can be found at any of these joints in your fingers. and then it tells you kind of the how often or the likelihood that somebody would have those sesamoid bones. So, but down here at the base of the thumb, super common. These red ones at the base of your pointer finger and at the base of your pinky, or about half of people tend to have those. Right, much more rare are these purple ones down here in the phalanges. Right, this one's super rare too. You might have one here. So I just thought that's kind of cool. You can see them on X-rays; they pop up. We're not really giving them names or anything, but if you see those, that's what they are. So for instance, up here on the BioDigital site, you can see the ones at the thumb, base of the thumb, that are really common, but they didn't include any other ones. Speaking of BioDigital, so remember, if you go to the website, you can pick male or female complete anatomy, that doesn't matter, and then go to the little top right hand corner has a little pencil mark, that little edit button, and I click on anatomy. I can turn off all the different organ systems except for the skeletal system, and then you can zoom in on the hand here if you want to and get some practice. Whoopsie. So I'm going to turn her a little bit. We'll zoom in, but you can see if you click on it, you can see the scaphoid, lunate, they go in the order. So I think I skipped one over here. So trapezium, trapezoid, right? So you can practice with that. It does say sesamoid bones of the right thumb. That won't be on your quiz, but you'll see them. So I wanted to talk about them just in case. So proximal distal, and then this one says middle. We will use the term intermediate, so just keep that in mind. Intermediate is kind of a fancier word. All right, guys, so tomorrow or next time we meet, you will have a quiz over the hand bones. So I recommend just practice writing it out. Use that mnemonic if that helps you, or make up your own way to remember it. The carpal bones are just the trickiest part. When we get to the ankles, they're not as bad. So good luck. Take the opportunity of the time to practice. You can also use the full-size articulated skeleton in the classroom if you want to pull up that hand, go over the bones or draw them out yourself. They don't have to look perfect. So practice, guys. That's how you remember things. Thank you.